Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lou. I'm a genealogist and a money saver. I love saving money. Um, so my two goals on this channel are to help you save money, especially right now during these challenges we have. Um, I'm also a genealogist, and I'm so excited to be able to show you guys how to save money doing genealogy. A lot of times we get into genealogy research, we get lost in the stories. We'll sign up for Ancestry for that 14-day free trial. Think, oh, we'll keep it for a while. We'll get back to it next month, month after that. Well, that generally doesn't happen. For the average person, they might only get 3 times a year where they've got an extra day to sit down and do some genealogy research. So I want to show you guys how to save that money. Right now we're looking at, with Ancestry, it's about $500 a month, or sorry, $500 a year for the World Package. And I'm going to show you how to save money doing that. Get it done quickly, get it done effectively. To give you an idea, that's about a third of what a genealogist would charge you for a full package done by them. Not that, it's not unreasonable because the amount of work that it does go into it. But if I can show you how to do that for $200, $250 or less, depending on how lean you want to go, because you can do it. So there's lots of options, lots of resources. So why don't we get going? So my first suggestion, piece of advice, especially while we're dealing with this virus. For starters, I have to say it's an interesting time. We're definitely all being challenged, either by being on our own more often, in social isolation, or our other challenge is being, surrounded by the family just a little too much. So let's start with genealogy, the difference between genealogy and family history. So I have 2 different definitions there that I'm sure are not going to match most genealogists, but the way I look at it is family history is up to grandparents. So a child will be learning family history from grandparents, from parents, the aunts, the uncles, the cousins. They're all part of your family history. Genealogy is actually the study of the family history. So I kind of use great-grandparents as the line there. Generally, there's 2 things in genealogy. One, 100-year rule. So as a genealogist, I would not start doing research for myself or anyone else until I hit the great-grandparents. So I would start with that data. So really, I would be starting the conversation, finding out more what the grandparents know, or the great aunts and uncles. That would be the group I would look at. Having said that, family history. Let's start with that. Things you can do with family history today without getting online, without worrying about anything else. The first thing is a child as young as 2 can actually start family history. Yes, they're not going to be writing out stories or anything like that, but they can draw. They can draw the family, which is a great opportunity for them to continue with some of their skills that they would necessarily have. Obviously, depending on the age and how well they are with crayons, you might want to be having someone watch over them. But you start by asking them to draw the picture of the family. So they're going to draw their family for you. Mom, dad, sister, brothers, step-parents. Let's face it. You could have the step family too. So, start with them drawing that. And then take them to, okay, let's draw Auntie's family. Let's draw Grandma and Grandpa, or Abba, depending on the family culture and the names. So you're starting to help them learn names. And then maybe you can always put in down just at the bottom, this is a picture of so-and-so drawn by so-and-so, and date it. And put during the virus, during the coronavirus, or COVID-19. Just, it's a great memory of the time you spent. So, that's your 2 to 5, 6 age bracket. At basically 5, 6, 7, 8, you're in a nice range. Really up until 10, you're in a really nice age group to do this. So this is a fun one. Especially if you don't have grandparents that are nearby. Today is one of those days you get on the phone, do social distancing conversations. And one of those is to have conversation with your parents, their grandparents, and start talking about some of the family history, some of the family stories. The most simple ones they can start with is, where were you born? Asking, where was your mom and dad born? What's your wedding date? Even though you might know this information, the grandchild doesn't. Grandchildren are great at getting grandparents to open up, to learn new things, to try new things. Okay, that's why when I worked in IT, in technical support, I be talking with a older person who was telling me that they were feeling frustrated every time their child came over to try and teach them how to do something. And I said, do you have about a 10 to 12-year-old grandchild? And they go, yeah, I do. I said, great. Next time, just go ask the child. Don't ask the parents for help. Just go ahead and ask that child to help you. And they're like, why? I said, you're not going to get in all that attitude and argument with them. They're just going to love on you and say, sure, no problem. I'm here to help. Same rule applies to genealogy research. They tend to be, grandparents will tend to be more open with a grandchild to the stories than they are their own children. For example, my mother there was raised by my grandfather, pretty much single male parent, from the time she was about 7 years old. Is when she lost her mother. So she was raised by her older sisters and her father. So my grandfather, there's a couple things he would never let her do. He would never let her go camping, and he never told her where he was from. You're a Canadian, it doesn't matter, was his story. But what I, as a grandchild, was able to find out very young is that he was born on St. Vincent's Island, and he used to tell us he sold his ass to come to Canada. Well, his ass to come to Canada, that statement generally means something totally different to my generation. It means you've worked your butt off. He literally sold his jackass to Canada, his donkey, to come to Canada. He came with $50 in his pocket. I later found out by reading his immigration records there. But with the genealogy research, like I said, the conversation's better. They're just more open to tell you things. And it turns out the reason the camping is that he lived such a rough lifestyle as a child that, he didn't see what the point of having his children live like that for a weekend. Makes total sense. So, anyway, getting back to my point, have those conversations. Find out grandparents' date of birth. Have them find out, if they were born, where they were born. Have them find out their wedding date. Have them find out their parents. So your grandparents, their great grandparents, date of birth, names, weddings. If there's any divorces, because quite possibly there could be. Any other information like that there that you can think of, just to open up the conversation between grandchild and grandparent. Help strengthen those family bonds. Any fun stories, like what was your favorite birthday party as a child? Did you have any animals? What were your pets? Things that, and there's a couple things going on there that there's going to help support. One, it's going to help your parents improve their anything if they have any signs of dementia, or just being stuck in the house bored silly. If you have a very active parent, like my mother is 81 and she's still very active, so she's struggling. So it's making the time to call every day and just kind of check in with them and things like that. But this is a great way to have that little bit better conversation to let them have some fun. For the grandchild, it's learning. Once they're able to start writing, they can certainly start doing that. Once they've started, they have learned how to spell their alphabets and spell words, they can certainly start writing down those dates. I would suggest for a younger child, put on the speakerphone. Just sit there quietly and just let the child ask the questions. Just kind of run with it. You may get some more information you didn't know about. But more importantly, that bond between parent and grandchild is going to get stronger, even if they are only on the phone. Even if that parent's only is 4,000 miles away, it'll still make a big difference in their lives. What else can we do? And then by the time you get teenagers can actually sit down and actually do that research. By the time they're 12, 13, they actually can understand the research. I apologize right now if this starts shaking. I have my male cat, Claus, has decided to be director. So I'll bring him over. This is Claus. Such a cutie patootie. So this is my office manager generally. So the, asking about pets. That's another thing, It may not be something genealogy related, but, you're going to learn more about the family history. There, who knows? There might be another jackass in the family. There could be, chickens. There, and then there'd be a story about farming, about raising chickens for eggs. Those stories are going to come out. And right now, those are the most magnificent things to hear. Because you're not just telling the family history. It's more than that. It's family bonding. As I said, with the children, you get a 12, 13-year-old, they can start some online research themselves. So if you are on Ancestry, just log in and start typing in those names. See what comes up. If you're not using Ancestry, personally, I'm Canadian, so every single provincial website has got some fabulous details there. So just type in New Brunswick genealogy. There, and we'll go into that a little bit deeper as we can. I think at this point I've given you enough thought for the day. So just have fun. You've got some extra time that you didn't think you were going to have ever. You've got some great time with the kids. So have fun with it. There's no point of you getting stressed out over it. Genealogy is still going to be there. There. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And, please look after yourself. Please keep self-isolating and don't forget to wash the hands. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.